Hello. So today we're going to channel Archangel Metatron on heaven and what happens after someone dies. First off, I do want to just give you some announcements. So just a reminder that I am doing personal channeling sessions on my website, ascendedcreation.com. Adriana is also doing coaching, spiritual coaching sessions. And I also am doing a service that's very similar to spiritual counseling. It's not mental health counseling, but it is, I guess you could say coaching, but it's more like counseling. So you can find that as well on there. If you are interested in some classes to channel, I have that available as well, and Reiki and a few other services. You can go check out my website, ascendedcreation.com. I am planning a live meditation, which will be a healing of the earth, but also activation for everyone that participates. And I'm not sure when that will be, but my higher self did give me the topic, which will be healing the divine feminine, which males are, of course, welcome to attend because everybody has a male and a feminine side, right? So that I don't know when it will happen, but that is being planned. And then I am also thinking that I'm going to do a workshop, begin to do some workshops, which I'm not sure exactly what the topic will be on that, because I'm not sure which I will do for a course, because I am thinking of doing a course too. So one of those is going to be about cords and healing relationships, healing contracts of relationships. I'm not sure if that will be the course or the workshop. Feel free to give your feedback on which you would prefer, if you would rather a live workshop or a course, which it would probably be a Udemy course. So those are very affordable. They have sales all the time. So, okay. I think that is it. I am in the process of writing books. So I am writing about the illusion and the matrix system, how to escape that, which is going really well. And so that I'm in the process. And my how to channel book is still going and will come out at some point too. All right, I think that is it. Do you have anything?
The only thing is that if you've probably noticed on the channel, I at least have been posting weekly meditations, and I know Heather wants to make those as well, but I'm not going to say when she's going to start doing that. But if there's any specific topic that you would like a meditation on, just leave that in the comments and we will definitely make that happen.
When I do make the meditations, I have a lot that I'm doing right now, guys, because I do still work part-time too. But I will be doing, because it sounded like people were wanting it on star seeds and finding out their star seed race and origin. And so I was going to do those to begin with. Anything else?
And just to go off of that, I don't know when I'll start doing it because I have other ideas as well, and I might do some for specific holidays. But I am planning to do a fun, like partner meditations with the spirit animals that I was going over, and to make meditations to like channel into the energy from each of the animals. So look forward to that.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. I guess now get started?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So okay, actually to get into this video, just to let you know that I did have a previous video which had my Life Between Lives recording of the session that I had in, I believe it was 2010. And in that, I didn't really have a traditional session where I went through heaven. However, I do want to speak a little bit just so you have some context here of this video. So there is this book, Journey of Souls, by Michael Newton, Dr. Michael Newton. He has passed, but he was a hypnotherapist, and he began to hypnotize some clients who began to recall their past life. However, this led to them recalling heaven. And all the clients seem to have this same experience, very similar, where they went through a process of being reunited with their loved ones. They met with a spiritual teacher. They had soul groups, soul pods. They went to the Akashic Record Library. They went and reviewed their life. Then they met with the Council of Elders, and the Council of Elders would then help them, just kind of guide them to their reincarnated next life. It also spoke about how we have a job in heaven and how we help other souls. So it's very interesting. However, here's the kicker, here's the twist, is that I have channeled the information that this heaven system is part of the matrix. And that's what this video is going to clarify. Why is it part of the matrix? What is going on? So from the information I have gotten thus far is that we have been caught up in this karma reincarnation cycle. We got kind of caught up in that. And this 3D world that we live in with the body and everything, this is all really an illusion. We could call it an illusion because it's not fully accurate, as it's changeable. And with this 3D Earth system, we are presented only one form. And the reality is that there is not one form. That's what they want us to really understand, is that there's not really a agreed upon. We've been caught up in this like collective agreement that's not accurate. So it's really just holding us down and kind of trapping us because we get lost in it. We get lost in, like, for instance, like this citrine. We're like, well, it's orange, right? It's orange, and we all agree upon it being orange. Although in reality, the citrine could be blue, green, purple. It could be the rainbow. See, we see it this way because we agreed upon it. See, we're being held down and limited. So that's really what they want us to know, and that heaven is limiting us as well. So that's what this is about, because we are escaping as we ascend, and we get out of this, and we get to the 5th dimension, or maybe even the 6th dimension here, as some are being liberated. So we are going beyond this, and this whole heaven system is like part of the reincarnation cycle, which we are not going to be in like that, because we will still reincarnate, we will still change forms or change dimensions, rather, our conscious field, but we're not going to be held down anymore. So this is what this video is about. Anything else about context too about this?
The only thing was just that while you were giving that information, it hit me up. That's why they often say stuck in the matrix, because we're really stuck in it, because we can't even get out when we die because we're holding on to it.
We go in this cycle and we blame ourselves. That's really what I keep getting.
So it's almost like we if you think of it, of you're saying us tied down, it's like if you're held down by shackles, there's like a lock. It's like you have the key, but you're refusing to put the key in.
But you don't even know there's a key.
Yeah, you don't see the key.
You forget that there's a key.
Yeah, but you have it. You just don't use it and don't know that you have it to use.
Right. That's a good analogy. I like that. So it's really, we are coming back to, we're blaming ourselves, thinking that we're failing. We're thinking we have to try again, get it right. And what they're wanting us to really understand is that we don't need to do that. We are divine. We are good enough already. We don't have to earn it. We don't have to prove ourselves. We are the gods, we are the angels, we are that already, okay? If we think about it from a multidimensional aspect, okay? And we are thinking that we're not good enough, that we got to earn it, we are sinful, right? And we got to earn salvation, right? But that's not what it's about. And so that's what these questions are about, to kind of give some clarification on that. Okay. Any other things before we start? Okay. All right. Oh, my throat too, you guys. Right before this, my throat's but
well, I had food stuck in my throat.
We're good. So. Okay. So let me bring in Metatron. I was guided to call upon Metatron for this video. I believe, if my memory is correct, Metatron is connected to the Akashic records. So I believe that's why I was guided to talk to him. All right. Okay. He's starting and he goes, "We have a story for you." That's funny. Okay. So get excited, guys. Okay. We are collapsing the matrix. I don't know what's coming through. I heard some light language. I didn't speak it, but I might start speaking light language, you guys. I've been doing more of that. So okay. I'm thinking they want me to do some light language. Okay. We are here to clarify what is happening in the archangel realm, and to make sure that you understand the difference between your story and our story, and how they are similar but also very different. And so you may misunderstand what we are speaking of, but we will proceed so you understand the difference and how you can hold a more accurate representation of yourself going forward. So begin with your first question.
The first question was just to tell us more about why and how the heaven realm is part of the matrix. So
yes,
whatever you want to go into with that.
The one that you refer to as your heaven is an earthly realm. There are other realms, there are other dimensions that other planets go to. Your plane of existence has people who have been on other planets, are part of other races. They are multidimensional and have origins from other races. However, everyone that goes to your earthly heaven, which you refer to, is part of this matrix system. There are people, other souls, that go to that heaven to help you out. Other races and other dimensions, people who have advanced further than you, who wish to start a revolution. We shall say it this way. They wish to send you off into the heavens above, into that which is more accurate. So to explain this so that you can understand, heaven is a place of rest. Heaven is a place of review. Heaven is a place of learning. It is a place where you can understand yourself and to see for yourself what you need to do. No one tells you what to do, and these guides which meet you are more like a fragment of the new earth. They come in to support you. They come in to guide you, to help you, but they never tell you what to do. And so that is how you get lost. For you, yourself, you are the ones that tell yourself that you must come back. You are the one that tells yourself that you've done something wrong, that you must do it a different way, that you must come back and do it with somebody else, that you must take the role that you yourself played. So if you killed someone, then you must be killed in the next life so that it balances out. But you're the ones that tell yourself that you must do this. You're the ones, and since we honor free will, we support your decision. And so we call you now to ask yourself, why do you hold yourself back? It is because you do not forgive yourself. You do not see yourself as that which you actually are, which is the divine, the God self that you are. And so we wish to liberate you so that you are placed upon another earth, which has it does not have these restrictions, and therefore you will not be held back at the end of your life. For there will not be an end, there will be only a beginning in which there will be a rebirth, a phoenix death, if you will, in which you just choose to move on rather than work. You work so hard and you tell yourself that you need to do certain things, but you do not. You do not need to have these fears that you do. You tell yourself, I fail all the time, and it is not true. You do not fail. You can rise above and feel like you are good enough here right now. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't even matter what you think. Just choose to feel and to see and to know yourself. All of this is an illusion because it doesn't tell you the accurate perception of the beauty of your soul. We would wish to check in to make sure that there are no other questions in regards to this question. I guess it's not entirely related, but I just went to it because so it's obviously very similar to what is in the Course in Miracles, but my brain went to the fact that in there it says that you should only do what you are guided to do from like your inner self. But to me, when I hear that, to me it sounds like work, but not work. It sounds like the work that you're meant to do. And I know that's not probably the accurate way to view that. But then you said that we work so hard and all the time. So I just wonder what exactly that is, if it's not work. Is it just that we don't view it as work, and work is the mindset that we have when we do things, or are we supposed to be doing something other than work? This is a very good question, and Heather herself is questioning this. And she is remembering a certain, we shall call mentor of hers, who said that there is no choice and said that you will know and understand your path. And this is reference to this. There is a certain expression which you shall come to terms with. You shall understand the mission. You shall understand the work. And this work is not really work. It is play. It is something that you are passionate about. It is something that you get excited about. It is part of the new earth system, which there is no work. You will have a duty. You will help others, but this is part of the mission. Once you understand this, you will understand yourself. And once you understand yourself, you will never, ever feel like it is work. You will feel excited. You will feel thrilled. You will see yourself as you are because you are accurately knowing yourself. And Heather is wondering if this is similar to when her practitioner told her that it is a receiving. And yes, this is an accurate representation. You receive from your higher self and you become energized by that. You see yourself in that and then you play it out. That's how it's supposed to be, is that it gets filtered down. It's what you would call certain waves. Heather was going to call it multidimensional. We would say it's a wave because the dimensions work together. They see each other. They become one system. Right now they are multi-layered, but once you get out of this whole program, they will merge. They will merge into one system in which you understand yourself. You understand yourself as the multi-layers. You aren't divided. You aren't separated. You are moving through them. So you will understand the other earths. You will understand the other yous. You will understand where you are and what you're doing on other planets. And so that's where it gets trippy, because you can be at two places at once. She remembers her practitioner, Kasha Azarite. She wants me to say her name because she wants others to join her because she's amazing. However, her practitioner was trying to get her to understand how she could be here, but also somewhere else at the same time, doing simultaneous things. So it is what you would call a multi-dimensional Earth system. And so when you understand that, you can understand the liberation, because right now you are feeling like you are the body. You're feeling like you are this personality. You're taking this as yourself and also judging yourself and harming yourself. So in order to liberate yourself, you must understand this. You must understand that there are multiple yous, but you are the yous. So once you understand that, you can connect with your future selves, and understand it and join with it. So to know that there are no real agendas beside yourself. You will play with that and feel it in your heart. You will understand it in your heart. There are no have-tos, but you will want to and choose to. And yes, there is a choice, but you won't see it as a choice because it's more of, wow, I see. And that's where you want to be. Did we answer your question?
So you said the word they used was
We would like to,
sorry.
because Heather was reflecting upon that, and we would like to say that there is a choice, yes, and people choose, but they choose, I don't want to use the word wrong, but inaccurately. What words to use? They choose based off their ego. This is where there is where people talk about different timelines and timeline jumps. It's because you are not on the path that you are meant to. If you would remain focused and on the organic timeline, you would never timeline hop. You would be on place and you would understand and you would see yourself and you would flow. But the way this is working is that Earth is going through so many timeline hops because people are going back and forth, back and forth. They're maybe on track and then they regress and then they choose something else. And it's all based on ego and limits and form. So that's why we are challenging you to get out of your ego state, get more in the heart, and understand. Just place yourself in the heart. Work with the heart, feel the heart, and you will never go wrong. Whether it's a personal question, we will save this. Okay, move along.
Okay, so you said, I believe, to liberate yourself, do this and let the waves come in. So is that all that we have to do to escape the matrix, or is that just what allows us to better live in the flow? Is there more that we need to do in order to fully escape?
Mm-hmm. One way to look at this is that there is no difference. This is the feeling that you have when you place yourself within your heart. You will see yourself accurately. We would like to call this the only accurate placement is the heart. When you place your attention in any other chakra, there is a certain limitation if you place it only in that chakra. And that's why it's important to link them, because that is when you are balanced and online. But yes, it is the same. The only real thing that you must do to escape this matrix is to feel your heart and understand the heart and work with the heart. It is the only real thing you must do. We shall use that word, must. That is all. People complicate it. There's a lot more to it. But really, if you just went into your heart and worked with yourself, because really what you're doing is you're listening to so many other people, getting confused, like they know more than me. It's all about going within and using your own self, your own heart discernment, finding your own heart. I think we have answered your question.
So can you explain how to do the process you said of, do you say linking your chakras?
Oh yes, we did this in another video.
Yes.
But first off, I would say to go ahead and feel your chakras. Look at your chakras each individually, feel them, know them, heal them. This is easier than you would think. Just simply set that intention, understand them. You can use sound, you can use colors, but really all you need to do is just feel them. feel them growing, working with them, you can start to transmute them by the best way, I think, would be to work with the violet flame. Work with the violet flame on each of your chakras. And then you can begin to link them. So you would just feel, such as you would feel your roots going up to the sacral. Work with that for a while. And then work from the sacral up to the solar. Then the solar up to the heart. And the heart up to the throat. And the throat up to the third eye. And then the third eye up to the crown. So it may take a few days, right? You'd want to link the one chakra to the next for a few days, and then the sacral up to the solar for a few days, and the solar up to the heart for a few days. So how many days is up to you? I think that it depends on what you feel. Do you feel like it's clear? Do you feel like it's linking? And then eventually you can link it all at once. And then you will develop a pillar of light in which you really don't see the chakras. You just see the stream of light. And as I say this, as Heather moves her hand, you shall see that it's going back and forth. So you want it to go like that too, in which it goes from the earth up and then from the universe down. Moving, flowing. And that is the multi-dimensional chakra system that you want to put online.
So if you're doing chakra toning, since you are bringing the one energy up into the next, would it work to begin with the root tone, and then in the middle of the same breath turn it into the sacral tone? Would that help in doing that?
I would work with one chakra at a time. Heather says, oops. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I just find it funny. It's like, oops. They're funny. Okay. I find their choice of wording funny. I'm also laughing at myself.
Wait. Was he saying oops?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was you.
No. Said oops. I was just like, ooh, I didn't say oops. And I was just like, oh, I haven't been doing that. I've been doing all along at once. Okay. All right.
Well, I made that video. I don't know if it's posted yet, but actually I made 3 videos.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, okay. Maybe we could do some videos where it's like just the root.
Okay, anyway.
All right. Well, that probably worked better then. All right. We are pleased that you were amused. We have been clarifying this over and over. If you haven't listened, do each chakra one at a time, maybe a few days. 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, something like that. Then you can move on to the next chakra. And then eventually you can link it, and that's when you will have the Kundalini. And you will develop your multidimensional pillar of light. Heather keeps asking questions. Yes, you do want to take your multi-bodies, so your etheric body, your aura system, you want to bring it into the body. You want to bring that in. Okay, because it's all you want to unify. That's what this is about. Unifying the bodies. Okay, because this will bring you into your heart. Bring it into the heart. Yes, do that. And then you want to have your pillar of light go out around you like a bubble, expanding. And that will protect you as well. Okay. Next question.
Okay. Oh, okay. What is the advantage of escaping the matrix heaven?
We have already explained. You have multi-dimensional selves. Without the matrix system, you will go beyond yourself to understand your other realities and bring that into your reality. And then your reality will shift. You will be more expressive. You will feel yourself, know yourself. You will feel joy. You escape your prison of fear. Or that is what this is. Yes, you will go beyond the mind.
Does that create a separate non-matrix heaven or
No. No, you will no longer need rest. You are rest. See? You see the difference?
Yes.
Yes. It will all be clear. You don't need rest. You don't need to review. You don't need to think about it. Your personality, okay, another way to present this is your personality is going to heaven. That's the key here. That's why it is a matrix prison. Your personality is going to heaven. You're still caught in that. A linear time frame, right? You're caught up in the linear time. Once you bring yourself out of that, time does not exist. You are time itself, and all of it will link together. You will understand. It's hard for us to explain when you are in it, but you will understand it in time. In time.
So, what can we do to help others to escape the matrix?
One way is to transmute yourself. So once you liberate yourself, you liberate others. You're all connected. So if you change, others will change. You not really need to do more than that. I do see that you are shifting and changing, and I do see that others are shifting and changing. And as long as we shift and change together, there is nothing else you need to do. But I will say, just be yourself. That's the best you can do. If you change, others will see you change, and they will want to know more. Don't force it upon them, but just be a representation of what is meant to be the most accurate, genuine, moving reality that you are. Be your heart. You can be your heart, and someone will listen. If you do that, there's nothing else you need to do. You will know what to do. Go with it one day at a time. You plan so much, you think too much. Just do whatever you are called to do when you're called to do it.
Okay, so Heather wrote this question, and I'm just going to read it word for word. I was told my mother and father returned to their oversoul angel source. What allowed this, And is this a form of escaping a heaven matrix system? How did they manage this without forming the light body?
We would like to explain this. This is where we say, what a story we have for you. Okay. Water. Where is water?
Where are you, Wanda?
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling good. Okay, like this, lot of energy, a lot of nice energy. Okay. Whew. All right. Okay. We should begin with your father, for that is in linear consecutive terms. Okay. Yes. Well, all right. He did go to heaven. He did. So he went there. He became a what you would call guide. He was a representation of a guardian angel. And he did play around a bit. So the thing is that he was liberated because he chose to be liberated. He worked very hard. Time doesn't exist there as it does here. So really, there wasn't really a bypass. So he had to do a lot of work and to understand himself. And once he understood that he didn't have to be reincarnated, he just chose to move on. And that's what happened. So why did he not go to the new earth? Possibly because he didn't want to. He didn't feel the need to. So that can happen as well. We don't need to do everything that other people do. So will he be chosen to do something else? Possibly. So what we would like to explain too is that he could form a new identity. So he has merged with the collective, okay? He's merged with his oversoul collective, which is different than God. It's one with God. It's also fractalized off of God. So he is sort of like an oversoul. And so what he saw himself as was the oversoul, so that's why he merged with it. He could come down and do something else, but he would have a new identity, a new personality self. So if that were to happen, he would be somebody else. So if you call upon him, you can get in touch with that personality self, the one which you would call your father. But in the most accurate sense, he's never going to be that again. Because that is truth. You are not yourself. You are not this identity. And so that is not what he represents himself as any longer. So you could get in touch with that self if you choose, but he's never going to take that and become that again in another form as he is now. Okay. Any questions in regards to that?
So if he came down again and had his personality, would that take him back steps?
That's an interesting question. It depends. It depends. I think it depends on the reality that you choose.
Not that he chooses?
Because you might see yourself as someone who has interaction with him. It's we play with you, but the reality is your choices are the choices of others. We are all linked together. It is based off the collective. There is no individual system once you get out of this. You will
Which is why
understand.
there's no choice. Is that why there's no choice? Because
That
it's
could be
collective.
that could be seen that way. That could be seen that way. But it is your choice because you choose whatever you are meant to do. You only feel this way, and it's because you get conflicted. You get conflicted and doubt yourself, and you're trying to figure out what will bring me joy. In the next dimension, there is only joy. It's meant to be that way. You are God. God knows. God, it's like you are seeing God. God sees you. God moves through you. We all work together, not against each other. That's one way of putting it. How much of that made sense?
It made sense to me.
Yes. Yes. All right. And so we'll continue. So your mother. Yes. Okay. She was a personality. When she passed, she had brought online what I would call the light body in a certain tone. And so she had potential. So what happened was that your mother was sort of limiting herself. She was placed upon what you would define possibly as a purgatory sort of system because she represented that in her mind, in her belief system, based off her. Yes. Heather is bringing up Catholicism. She's wondering if that's what we mean. Yes. So she believed that she would be in purgatory, so she was. So when that happened, she had to get out of it. She had to get out of it. So in order to get out of it, we created a sort of link between Heather and her. And this is why Heather felt so off and so down. Because we wanted her mother to be saved, quote.
In her words.
Right. So we knew that we could use Heather as a sort of vessel for this to take place. So what happened was Heather then felt so off, so down, that she brought herself to a certain practitioner to have an aura session. And this was done, and beliefs shifted, beliefs changed for your mother, who understood then that, whoa, this was not accurate. I am more myself than I thought. I need to leave. So from the love that was brought in, her mother then forgave herself and then went to heaven. However, when she did go to heaven, she understood herself even more. And so then she liberated herself to then go to the Archangel Jophiel representation of herself. And so that is what is truth for her now. So this is another way, this is another route. So you may see yourself as the Archangel and can liberate yourself and go to that realm. That's story. And play that out. Instead of going to the new Earth system. So when the time comes, you could choose that instead of going to the fifth dimension. Depending. It's one way. There are many ways. Many ways. You will see.
So was her path different because she made that decision because she felt that it was too much work that our dad had done, or is it because she had like trapped herself more because of putting herself in that purgatory?
Yes. She didn't need to do the work because she did more work. She understood more. Your father needed to go through a lot of learning. Does that make sense?
So she already knew it, but she had to be within Heather to forgive herself to
Yes.
accept it.
One way to think of this is she quantum leapt. She quantum leapt. There was a movement into the self. She quantum jumped. Does that make sense? She brought online a multitude of understanding that she did not have before. It was brought in just instantly. Does that make sense?
Because of being in Heather.
No.
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 Okay. How did she do that? Sorry.
Well, it's all done together, but she was held back, right? Held back, and we wanted to help her. So we used her, we used them together to then help each other. It's a sort of cord, right? You have a cord even after death. You can have a cord. And so they were linked. And so then the cord was not, I don't want to use the word severed, because there's always a cord if you choose. But you could think of it as a sort of she was allowed to move on because Heather wanted her to move on. The love was brought in because Heather brought it in. That makes sense, right? This is how we save certain spirits. Sometimes we always try to figure out something. We don't want them to get stuck. So when she did that, she liberated herself. She liberated herself because she understood herself. So was it Heather? Was it her? I would see we're all one. So in that, she understood herself instantly. She didn't have to go through the lessons and the work. So did she forgive herself in a way? It's possible to say it that way. It was like she just took herself to the other place. She used the angel's help when it was brought in. I think that is the best way to understand it.
Because the what I'm just not understanding is why he had to do all the work and then she had that as an option. I'm just not understanding what the difference was for why.
I see. Well, for instance, your dad was not in a purgatory. Your dad moved on. And Heather is remembering the ghosts in the house. No, that was not him.
So it was more because she put herself in the purgatory.
Yes.
Okay.
She had that opportunity. She also did more work on Earth. Your dad was very, very advanced, but he actually had more advancement after he was in the heavenly realm. Your mother did a lot of work. That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. What else would you like to know?
Well, I was actually going to ask that, but then Heather brought it up too a little bit. But with that, what is the difference then when people are like here as ghosts? How is that different from the heavenly realm? Is that like you described heaven as a rest? Is that like when people don't even allow themselves the rest?
Yes. Okay, heaven is more of an entrapment, and that is more what your mother was sort of in. She saw it as a purgatory, but we see it more as a spirit, a response to spirit. So yes, Heather is remembering how there were certain messages she would get from her mother. It was interesting. But spirits here on earth are those that decide to place themselves in a certain how to explain this. They limit themselves in their understanding. They see themselves as the personality self, but not just the personality self in this self. So what I mean by that is that you see yourself as this form only. So much that you cannot escape it. You need to work within yourself even longer than the body. You could see it as what is the term that they say? The unfinished business. And so the unfinished business needs to continue. They believe that they need to do something else. They think that this is not good enough. It's more of that karma system. And so they play around here on earth even longer, and we keep trying to send them messages because it's all free will. They can't choose to move on unless they choose to move on. So that is the way. What else?
Okay, so tell us more about the new Earth reincarnation reality system and how that works.
Okay, so if you were to understand this as a multidimensional self, you would see yourself as the self, but also as others. So what that would mean is that when you are on the fifth dimension or above, you place yourself within the heart and you understand what it is you're supposed to do. You have information brought to you. You understand yourself and all your other selves. However, you are not your other selves at the same time. It's very interesting. So you will be your other selves, but you won't understand your other selves. You will be working with your other selves, but you're not playing out your other selves. So what happens is you begin to understand yourself. You begin to understand your mission, and time does not exist. So you will be doing multi-dimensional simultaneous things. You'll be timeline hopping like no tomorrow because you were meant to. Now, when the timeline collapses so much that your field is possibly taking another form than the one that you are in, then you will shift. You will shift and you will become your future self. And then it's very interesting because then you will have communication with your former self because there is no time. And then once you understand that and believe that there's more, and you can escape that system. So there are what you would call multiple systems, okay? It all depends. And once you escape the rules and limitations of that, and your field becomes greater, you will then sort of escape it like shedding skin layers, and then being brought online more organic self. So you will then merge with your other self, your future self, higher self. You will merge with that, and escape your prison. It's always escaping your prisons. But it's different than this prison. We do want to be clear. Because right now you are so in doubt, so in fear, so conflicted, so misunderstanding things. It's very much not like that. It's just that once you understand that you are limited and that there's more, then you will shape more. How did I put that? Was that good?
Yes, so for a little bit there, I was going to ask for clarification on that future self, because if that was time or if that was just your higher self, and so you were playing out the different side of it, but then you said future self / higher self, so then that made sense. But yeah, it's kind of like it's not exactly your future self because there's no time, but it's your future self because it's a progression. Like you have to play the one side before you can play the other side.
Trying to explain that. Trying to think of a good. Because think of it like an accordion. Okay, if you think of an accordion, you are one little part of the accordion. So accordion folds, right? You play it. So you are one little piece of the accordion. Once you begin to expand yourself to the other higher you will then be two little pieces of the accordion. And then once you expand yourself, then you're three pieces of the little accordion, and then so on, right? But you never get out of it. There's never a timeline where you have done enough. There's never a timeline where you are or none of it either. There is no time, there is no limits to any of it. But you have communication with all of it. And yes, you can escape at any time and go back to the unification of God. And once you do that, then you have the opportunity to form a new self. A new self to do it over. Does this make sense?
Yes, I just it just seems like that's still kind of how I explain it, because it's like you're progressing like across the accordion, but it's not exactly future because there's no time. But you have to move along in that certain direction.
Yes, and it's not linear. It's confusing for us to explain this. It's not confusing for you.
Well, I think I get it, but I'm trying to make sure that they get it, because it's like you're doing both sides at the same time, but you have to have the understanding of the one before you can understand the other.
Right.
Kind of.
You work with the other you, but then you understand the other you, and then you become the other you. That's a good way of putting it. Yes.
But at the same time, you were already the other you, because you were being that you at the same time.
Yes. Right. When you merge with the other you are both yous. That's what's funny. There's your time. You're both yous. Does that make sense? You are your previous self. There is no previous self. You just understand the previous self and the you that you are. We laugh. We hope you understand. Heather understands.
Okay. So you said kind of this already, but I guess I'll still ask in case there's a specific like location or more you want to give into, but where will we go when we die in the new Earth system?
Nowhere and everywhere. That's the fun of it. So this is very trippy too. This new earth that you talk of is really another layer of the earth. Okay. Heather remembers that her higher self mentioned this. And she was viewing it as sort of layers of the earth like an onion. So there will be the 3D, 4D earth system, but it will be more like the 5D for people because the organic will become more online. So you could think of yourself then moving into the upper layer. Okay, the upper layer, as her higher self was explaining previously, they were saying it's more like you will be light particles, and then people will be in the sort of the limiting 5D. So they will see themselves in form, but you will not be form. Okay, does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So it's not really a place though. It's not a place that you're going to. Okay, so this is where it gets so misunderstood too. Okay, and Heather has tried to explain this. The 5D Earth, where people will be in form, is the new Earth system that people talk of. Okay. And we could go on, but really, people will be reincarnated, and the people who are not moving on and redoing the school are going to be placed on not a 3D limiting sense that you would think of now. They're going to be brought online to a 5D representation, similar to what you would say that Atlantis was. Okay, so they're going to redo their cycle though. So at the end of their lifetime, they will be reborn and do it all over. But this time, there won't be any not influence, but inorganic matrix infringement. Okay, so they will play that out. Okay, but you are actually going to more of like a 6D field. Actually, Rising Phoenix Aurora spoke of this. It's more of a 6D if you are really escaping this and really moving on. Okay, so there are actually more of like 2 newer systems, just depends on where you're going. And some people, so many different people talk about this in different ways. Some people talk about it, we're going to the inner earth, and the others are on the outer earth, all this stuff. But you could think of it as you are no longer in a system. This means you don't have a form. Okay. Some people call this the rapture too, which, some are left behind while others will be brought out. So you're being brought out. If you're watching this, you're most likely moving on. If you have your heart activated, it's all about the heart. If you activate your heart, you're moving on. You've done your lessons. You're freeing yourself. Okay. So you be brought out of it, and you won't have limitation. You won't have form. Now you can present yourself in a form, but you don't have to. And so what you will be doing is more of the play. You will be playing and doing weird things.
That made me think of something Akasha Azariah would say. That's why I laugh.
Weird things, yeah. Trippy things like creating your own universe, creating your own new earth system, and feeling that, knowing that. And you would interact with others too. But mostly you'll just be working within and expressing yourself, creating yourself. And you can actually be teachers and guides, and you could go to the New Earth system, help them out. You could go to other races, other planets. You could do it all. Depends. You will be free. You will be free. And you could become a no, okay. Heather's asking, would you be a spirit guide on the heaven system? There won't be a heaven system. Even for those in the matrix, that will be the organic matrix, they will not have a heaven in that sense either, because they won't be trapped in a reincarnation cycle as you think now. They will be brought back, but they won't need to review their life in the same way. They will process it very quickly, and they won't need that rest. They won't need it anymore. So you could be a teacher, but it would not be the teacher that you see now. It would not be the spirit guides that you see now. Okay, and then once you figure that out, and Heather has heard that the 6D is more like the Akashic Records. It's a field of energy. It's a field of energy. The Akashic Records is everything. It's everything. There just doesn't have to be a limitation, is which you say, it's this dimension. She watched some show. She thinks it was Matthias de Stefano, who said that the sixth dimension was the Akashic Records. We don't see it that way. You could see it that way, but no. But it is potential. It's a lot of potential, a lot of formless energy, which you work with, but can create form. It's very fun. And then you move on to the 70, the 80, all, but you can jump, depending. But I think that we answered your question. Oh, and Heather wants to know about the inner earth. There is an inner earth that is more of a 5D now. So will you be in the inner earth? Yes, yes. So yeah, that is one way to think of it. It is an inner earth system. It's like you are forming the inner earth. What will happen to the inner earth? That's another good question. What will happen to them? They're expanding, they're evolving, and they're going to move on too. And she remembers that there was someone who did speak of this, and she thought it was really weird and didn't understand it, didn't really believe it. But now she sees that this is more accurate. That there are layers to the earth, and they're all going through a cycle. We could get more into that when we want. All right. Anything else?
Okay, just this one last question. We probably wouldn't choose to do this because we chose specifically to come here to Earth. But even though you're calling it a new Earth system, when we reach that point, since we would not be shackling ourselves, we would have the choice to leave Earth as well, right?
No, yes, I brought that up.
Oh, did you say that? Okay, I'm sorry.
You could go to other Earth systems. You could go to other planets. You could come back. You could do it all. Heather wants to know, can you work simultaneously in multiple places? That's true. It all depends. There is no limitation. Yes, we answered that. You don't have to stay here. You can go to, you might go to other, the Pleiadians, Arcturus, Syria. You might go to any other system. You might work with it all. You might become part of the Federation.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna keep just going with the questions, but so if we are at that level and we wanted to move to another planet, would it be possible that we would have to still like raise higher in order to match that planet before we could get there?
Yes.
Okay.
But it will be known to you.
How to do that?
Well, it'll be known to you what you're supposed to do.
Oh.
You will not decide. You will understand, and it will be your choice. Fun, isn't it? But you will love it. That's the thing. You will love it, whatever you were supposed to do. Whatever it is that you want to do. It's simultaneous. They're both the same thing. There is choice and there isn't choice.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Your choice is the choice. You are God.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
God does not choose something that you don't choose.
It's like a thing, Heather and I have kind of had the conversation, but it's like you have something that the real choice, but we make choices that are not a real choice because we don't recognize a real choice.
Exactly.
So like we might eat some food that we don't really want to eat, but we think that we want to eat it.
That is very, very, very true. Yes. You need to eat what you are supposed to eat, what you choose to eat as your organic self, your organic nature. This is very, very true. That could be a whole other
Yes.
video. What else do you want to know, if anything?
Well, I'm done.
Okay, very good. Heather is pleased. Okay. She wants confirmation. Was this Metatron? Yes, it was. I am very playful today. I'm very fun today. We enjoyed it as well. Okay, that's actually pretty fun.
That was the most enjoyable one of these we've done, to be honest.
Really?
My headache went away.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that felt lovely. That was just really, really good energy. I haven't contacted Metatron in a while. Well, no, I mean, that's not true. That's not true. I contact Metatron every day because I shield and I do like multiple, I call upon the angels to shield me every day. But I haven't talked to Metatron.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. Mm-hmm. So he's been more serious before, but it's funny. No, all the angels are making jokes with me, and like I think they're trying to get me to loosen up because I'm very serious. Mm-hmm. I think they're trying to just be playful because they want to bring that out of me. And so I don't, but the humor is just, it might just be personal because I just laugh and it's just something very simple. Like, what was it? Like, oops. Uh-huh. Yeah, oops. And I laugh. Uh-huh. It's just stupid.
I mean, I laughed at strange things.
Oh, I didn't find that as funny, but you did. See,
I did. Well, I appreciated this because I am more playful, but when they're serious, I feel like I have to be serious. And then I get in this stupid thing where, like, whatever question it was, they're like, I already answered this. And normally I'd be like, oh no, now they think I'm stupid. But I did not feel that today.
No, they don't think we're stupid. They're just like, a matter of fact, we already answered that. Go back and review the information or something.
I just asked because I'm like, I don't know if this is exactly the answer that you meant for the question. So then I'm like, do I skip it? Do I not? So then I don't know. Anyways.
I'm just thinking too much.
I know.
We do that. Okay. Also I do want to do some video too on the gods and goddesses because I have a channel and I get this too. The gods and goddesses are the same as the angels. I did channel that a while ago during some video. It was just some video we did. It was a while ago though. Mm-hmm. Where we just asked a whole bunch of questions, and one of them was like about the gods and goddesses, and they said that the angels are the gods and goddesses, and they said by different names. So I might do a channeling about that to clarify, or I might just sit down and get that information and then present it. But to give your feedback, if you prefer, like, do you like that? Sometimes I do like to channel myself and then present it, but if you really don't like those videos, please let me know. I feel like I'm awkward when I present it because then I'm like looking through my notes, but I like to do that too. So because sometimes I just want to channel, I don't want to channel just for me, and then it'll turn out to be like good information that then I can present. So but anyways, I do want a video on that. I do feel like I want to connect more with gods and goddesses, but I want to know too, because there's way more gods and goddesses than angels, right? So are they
They're probably
the same? Because
well, there's also
there's
a lot of the gods and goddesses that are really like the same, that turned into different aspects of each other. But it's weird because, which is why a channeling would be really good on it, because when we the way that I at least assume that things work out is that if we have like a goddess, so like it might be like our where we are like, okay, these are these aspects that are this being, and then you take certain aspects and narrow that down, so you're taking out just certain aspects from them. It's still that same person, but because you're limiting it and changing the perspective that you are putting onto it, it's like you are basically fractalizing them off to give them a different identity. So they are a separate identity, but they're still the same identity at the same time.
right. Yeah, they might be like fractaled off. I think that might be accurate from the channeling that I have done. I think that like I want to get more information because it was very interesting, because I've been connecting with Carowin Sarowin. I'm not sure which is the correct pronunciation. I think it's Carowin, but I've been connecting with her, and she informed me that she is Archangel Uriel in the same. It could be a fractal, but I haven't really connected with Archangel Uriel, really. But I looked up Uriel, and Uriel is about transformation and about wisdom, and so is Carolyn, the Celtic goddess. And I was like, oh, I see it. So I want to connect with both of them, or the same them, because I want some clarification about, does it matter who we connect with? I mean, the angel or the goddess? And I know that the gods and goddesses have been, like twisted. Their information is like not so accurate too, because I did get some information too from Michael, Archangel Michael. He says, I'm Zeus. And I'm like, what? I hate Zeus.
Sorry. Did you seriously say that?
No, I know. Okay, no, I'm sure I don't hate Zeus, okay? What they did to Zeus is probably like, you think of Zeus like this angry god that's gonna like smoosh you down with the
presentation
lightning bolt and goes around and like is frivolous with all these women, right? These earthly women have like half god, half human babies, right? And it's like unfaithful to his wife, it's so inaccurate, right? It's gotta be. So anyways, that could be a fun channeling too. So all right, I think we're gonna end it then. You good with that? Okay, so thanks for watching. I know this is probably really long. I don't know how long this was. Feels like it was forever. But it was some really good information. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.